YouTube vinyl community, St. Vincent fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we are here today to talk about St. Vincent's second album from 2009, Actor, released on 480 Records. St. Vincent is one of the best, I guess you can say, singer-songwriters of the modern music realm, and she's fantastic at guitar. She's one of the best guitarists I've ever seen. She just flies over the frets with really robotic and odd phrasings and signatures that are very unique to her style, placing her in an area that really, she can't be compared to a lot of people because she's so on her own world. And that's what I love so much about St. Vincent. She's just fantastic. The songs that she writes, the way she crafts them, the way they're produced, the instruments that she uses, all of it put together create this unique blend that is specifically her. And really hard to compare to anybody else. It's really hard. She's in her own little world, and we're better for it. This album, Actor, was her second album, and following her first one, which was very much in like lots of piano on that one, lots of acoustic guitar, kind of like a quiet sounding album. This album expands on that, but with a darker theme, and kind of showcases what's going to happen on the next couple albums. There's moments on this that kind of kind of like let you know what's going to happen next. So let's just get into it. The first song on this album is called The Strangers, and a lot of this album was inspired by Disney movies and older films of the 30s and 40s, and I think some Woody Allen movies too. Basically, she came off tour from her first album. She felt like she was burnt out and just wanted to hang out and watch movies and try to become human again, as she put it. And a lot of things that she would do was she would watch some of the movies with the sound off and kind of write music towards some of these scenes about what was happening and like make her own soundtrack. I'm not sure exactly what specific songs are towards specific movies. Maybe there's a way you can like really dive into the lyrics and figure it out. I'm not the best at early Disney movies, but anyway, we kind of get off the bat with Strangers here. This album is full of really tight production and really sometimes cool little studio tricks, but this song in particular sets up the groundwork for how the rest of the album's going to be. Colorful guitar picking, really lovely vocals that still have a bit of a bite to them, some soft flutes going on in the background, and you really get an idea of, like I said, the blueprint of this album. The second song on the album, Save Me From What I Want, is an excellent foray into, I think, what will happen on her next album, Strange Mercy. There's a few songs on this album that specifically, I wouldn't say don't fit into the rest of the album, but definitely have their own mood. This song is one of them. There's this non-stop snare drum underneath, these like dizzying amounts of subdued guitars just hanging out in the background. Got this flurry action like it's snowing, but it's snowing guitars. And her voice has such a genuine, characteristic quality. There's an honesty to it, but there's also like a smirk going on at the same time. And the way she sings the lyrics, like her lyrics are fantastic. The stories that she can tell and the characters she can create. And the way she sings them, again, it's like storytelling. It's like a weird lullaby or something. Excellent, excellent track. The next song, The Neighbours. This song is really cool. There's moments in here where we get this, it starts off kind of quiet, but there's moments in the chorus you get this really striking, fuzzed out, deep, heavy, bassy mess going on, for lack of a better word, as she sings on top of it. And the augmentation of her voice against those hard music passages is really cool to hear, because you get like the delicateness of her really enunciated, precise vocals, and then this is like really gritty music going on underneath that. Very cool to listen to, and the story is also very cool. Just reading the words along with this album, which are luckily enough included on the inside, is great. The song ends with a nice, more soothing vocals, and then a lot of cymbal crashes, and then you're on to the next one, which was, I would say, probably her first, like, really big single, Actor Out of Work. Straight up head bobber, straightforward rockin' song, really short, to the point, and also one of the first to feature her really robotic-like guitar phrases. Really, really cool. These staccato, bouncy, in-your-face, shrill notes. Lots of guttural drum charges again. Annie's voice gives a tone of trying to keep calm, but also kind of on the edge of her seat, kind of a manic feel, but also trying to like keep her cool at the same time. This song in particular, I think really sets up what's going to happen on Strange Mercy, and then for sure on her self-titled album in 2014. Black Rainbow has these really nice flutes going on throughout the entire song, and again, more of that sort of anxiousness going on in this track. Annie's voice is kind of on a falsetto mood throughout most of this album, but specifically on this song is really nice. It's a strong softness. It carries the track along until where it just builds up to this like very crunchy, gritty, terrorizing, heartbeat racing, panicky climax. And it's awesome to hear the song build like that. It shows all kinds of sonic textures that she can play with and still get from point A to point B and have it sound like the same song. Very well done. The sequel, lots of acoustic guitars and violins and kind of a soft whispered vocal on this one. On the album, it closes side 1. On the CD, it closes the actual CD. I think it works better here on the LP. Side 2 starts off with a song called Laughing with a Mouthful of Blood, and this is kind of a pacing rhythm, kind of an echoey background vocal, and not a whole lot I can say about this song. I like the story she tells with it. Just the way she sings it, laughing with a mouthful of blood from a little spill I took. Just the phrase spill I took, and then like being able to laugh about it. Like the way she words that and the way she phrases things and the way her brain works to make lyrics happen. Very fun to listen to, very unique. Mero, this was another song I feel like sets up the groundwork for where she would go next. This song is crazy, the way she spells out help me, H-E-L-P, help me. Very much in the robotic, like, she's all over the place with this one. That roboticness to her playing, watching her play these songs is unbelievable because her fingers are just all over the board. And it's stuff that you want to be able to play. Like, I play guitar myself, and there's no way I can touch anything she does. A lot of the songs she does are very difficult to play, and you got to sit there and figure it out for hours. And I don't know if I can do it. But yeah, Mero is an excellent song. Really tenderly sung. Her vocals are really delicate, but it rocks out the entire time. Especially that middle bit where it gets to the these crazy horns, these overdriven guitars, and combined with that really soft spelling of help, it sets up that manic panic mood. And I've said that a couple times in this album. This album definitely has a bit of that danger, a bit of that dark side. Whereas the first album was a little more on the light side. This takes that light feeling, but totally tosses it down to the deep end, blindfolded and scared. And that's kind of an amazing thing to listen to. The Bed, this is a really cool song. Excellent falsetto throughout this song. Thunderous chorus sections that really sound like they were recorded in a cave somewhere far away. It almost sounds like it was recorded with the intention of being quiet, like you didn't want to get caught recording something. And I did read somewhere that she recorded a lot of this originally in her apartment amidst noise complaints. So maybe she was trying to do something kind of quiet just to appease her neighbors. I don't know. The Party, I love this song. This is the second song to start off with the word honey, which I thought was cool. But it showcases this perfect image of two people at the end of a party. The lights have come up, the cleaning crews come in, and they're trying to figure out if they want to keep this conversation going or just split or what they're trying to do. And that mood is so well encapsulated with these tiny little piano bits going on in the background, a light, airy musical passage happening throughout the whole thing. And her vocals are very just, that 2 a.m., 3 a.m. feeling where you're like, you've been hanging out with somebody all night. You're kind of like at the point where you're like, what's going to happen now, But then at the very end of the song, it just goes into this grand, sweeping, like, orchestral, Cinderella-esque moment of music that's this waltz. You can just imagine people like ballroom-style dancing to this, like, elegant waltz. And it's a fantastic moment. It's an unbelievable moment on this album that really showcases how well she can craft these songs and where these random melodies come from. I would have never thought about hearing something like that on an album from 2009, and it works. Her voice works. The lyrics work. The whole thing just works. The album ends with a song called Just the Same But Brand New, and this is a fantastic closer of a song. Annie's warm voice kind of shakes and bends in this high wire uneasiness in the choruses. The really subdued, barely audible rolling toms in the background kind of supply like a gravity to keep this thing like on the ground, even though it's totally up in the air in the clouds with this dream pop. And then all of a sudden the drums just slam in with this really tight, heavy rock groove, and then leave just like that. And the track literally ends like it's falling gracefully from the sky, with like a parachute made out of bed sheets, just kind of like softly flowing through a city at night, looking at some of the windows that still have lights on before you get to your own bed. And that's kind of a really magical feeling, and I feel like it's a good follow-up to The Party. I feel like those two songs kind of work really well next to each other. And then the album ends, and just like that, it's definitely an album that I think works really well played as a whole album. You can take songs off this and like put them on a mix or something, but as a whole, I think what she was going for on this thing really works. There's a vibe, there's a theme, there's ideas that get repeated, there's a momentum that takes a break or gets crazy or comes back or slows down, but all of it at the same time sounds like one album and one thought. And sometimes that can be very hard to pull off, especially when it's just you by yourself. Sometimes it's fun to bounce off other people and say, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that. But this whole album, I mean, Annie Clark is St. Vincent. She does most of the stuff on this thing. She does have a lot of people that help her with some of the instruments, and John Congleton helped her produce this thing. And he would go on to produce the next two albums too. And they work really well together. So overall, I cannot get enough of this album. I think it's absolutely fantastic. She is one of the most important musicians of the modern times. I've seen her live twice. I saw her do a tour for the album she did with David Byrne called Love This Giant, which, if you haven't heard that album, fantastic album. And then I saw her on her self-titled albums tour. She's just amazing. She really is a force to be reckoned with, and I'm glad that she's getting more popular, and she's just building this humongous fan base, and I wish her all the success. I think she's absolutely fantastic, and she does what music needs, which music needs some intelligence and some fun and some wit, and she's doing all that. Each album she puts out, she betters herself, and I'm really excited for what the next chapter of her career is going to be. So, for St. Vincent and her album Actor from 2009 on 4AD, I'll show you the label, which mirrors the record cover. So you got pink on one side and blue on the other. I would give this album probably a solid 7 or 8. The only thing I wish that was a little different on it was and it's kind of hard to make that call because I want some more passages like Mero and Actor, but you get that with the next album. You get that with Strange Mercy, so it's kind of fulfilled in a way. I love this album. I think it's fantastic, and I think it's a good snapshot of kind of the mood she wanted to go for in a certain period of her life. Yeah, that's kind of the best way I can put it. It's just a great album. Check it out, listen to it. Let me know what you think. Have you heard it? Then, talk about it in the comments. So, St. Vincent Actor, I'm going to go with a 7 on this thing. 7 or 8. Let's go with 7 or 8, depending on what mood I'm in. But, yeah, I'm probably going to review her other albums soon. So, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Giggens. This has been Actor by St. Vincent. I wonder if that'll line up with my chest. No, a little bit. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.